Conference.
Hello, hello.
Looks like they're calling in, Jen.
Okay. Mike, undo that.
Hi there, Dawn. It looks like we're waiting on Crane West, and Jennifer's on as well.
Perfect. Okay. And I just re-emailed all the information over to Crane, so they should be joining us shortly.
We see them coming on. It looks like they're doing the dial-in for the phone, so we'll hear them beep in just a second, I'm sure.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Dawn, just in case, I know y'all are taking two, but Jen and her screen, I just wanted to make sure y'all saw it.
Yes, we have it. We're good.
Awesome. Very good. Thank you.
Is this Kathy?
Yes, it is.
Thanks I know it was hard getting this scheduled, so thanks for doing that.
Oh, you guys were easy. Sometimes I've got 4 or 5 different groups, so y'all are great. No problem. We're gonna, Dawn, we're gonna record this as well. We like to let people know we're recording, and that way,
okay.
If Tom needs to go back and review something, he can.
Okay.
So Crane West is here.
Hi, Crane West. Hi, Colt. How are you?
Colt is out of the room right now, but he's walking right back in. This is Jeff and Joel, and Colt will be here in about 10-15 seconds.
Okay, perfect.
Hello.
And just so you guys know, we have a CI web group on and ourselves over here at Market Wave, and they just informed us, so I just want to inform you that they're recording this session just so that they have documentation, and in case Tom needs to go back and review anything, or we have any questions about anything, we have some source material.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, you guys. I'm Jennifer Bagley. I'm the CEO over here at CI Web Group.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer.
How is everyone?
I'm good.
Awesome, awesome. So from your guys, from your point of view, what are the main agenda items that need to be covered during this session?
So I'll just jump in. As you know, we contracted with Tom to design this site, and we are all aware, including Crane, that we've had a disconnect with Tom on the way that the site architecture has been developed. We truly thought that he was following along in the way that we were building the site. But when it came to fruition and he actually saw it, we've recognized that there was sort of a huge disconnect between what we were building and what in his mind's eye he thought he was getting. So we, with Tom, have reached, an understanding that we need to fix that and make sure that we're delivering to him this, single site. And so we're aware of that and committed to do that. But he had talked to me last week about a solution of transitioning the site as it stands to you guys, and then having you do all of the rebuild work and just sort of doing the transition of this project now. And I told him that I would talk to my internal team and that we would reach out to you guys and kind of collaborate together on what the best next step was. And so after speaking to the president of our company and talking as a group, we would really prefer to make the fixes that we need to make and absolutely deliver the site that Tom wants to see, but we would like to do that over here as opposed to transitioning it to you. Now, of course, before anybody makes any decisions on that, we need to bring Tom in the loop and make sure that, you know, he's comfortable with that process, et cetera. And before I went back to him and had that conversation, I just felt like it would be a good idea for all three groups to be on the phone together. We know that you guys are going to be managing this site going forward, and so we wanted to kind of walk through what the changes and make sure that the three of us are all sort of aligned on the changes that we need to do to the site in order for not only us to deliver this sort of single site architecture that Tom really wants, but to, you know, potentially address any other concerns between the three of us, so we had a really, you know, clear understanding of where we were trying to go, so that I could get back on the phone with Tom and, you know, and let him know that MarketWave believes that this is the best solution and the way that we would like to go forward.
Gotcha. Okay, easy enough.
Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So, very cool of you guys doing that too. That's awesome.
Well, and to be honest with you, that may be, Jennifer, the last thing that you hear me say, because I'm going to be letting, you know, Todd and Colt talk about the nuances of development. But I want to make sure, again, from a strategy perspective, that we're all aligned and you know, and sort of representing a really strong solution for Tom.
Very good. Very good. Well, you know, I mean, for him, the considerations I think that need to weigh most heavily is it's a small company, a lack of resources, a lack of technical expertise. You know, it's not like they have a marketing department and a blogging department and an SEO team and, you know, the architecture engineers and all the different elements that you need in order to have this really, really robust site and to go gangbusters with, you know, 10 different brands and all different URL structures, and they just can't do that. So I think, you know, simplification is definitely should be one of the number one goals, and scalability should be the second one, because even though they're small, I think they've got a huge opportunity to be able to grow. And so having something that's very, very scalable is going to be really important. So it's as simple as a single WordPress installation, leveraging WordPress's menu management tools, making sure the site's responsive, having an architecture for your navigation structure that allows for scalability. So, you know, maybe you guys have a dual level navigation where you have a primary navigation that is your secondary services and sub pages, and you have kind of a junk page section that's maybe a top level navigation but not below the slider. So, like, I'll just show you one real quick. This would be a really simple solution to try and help him. If you had a top level navigation that was home, about, FAQ, blog, of course, you know, he's got to have a blog on the site if he's going to go after SEO. I have an airplane. I'm sitting out on the deck. So these would be kind of your junk pages, and then you can take all of his individual service area pages and you could drop them into here, but allow him to have a drop down. So if he does want to optimize or be able to promote a subservice of network services, or a subservice of security solutions, or subservice of web or telephony and so forth, that those are really easy. So I would just say, you know, from a design element, 2 menus up top, one for all your junk pages, your blog, and so forth, and then your logo and your header area with the very next area or container being your menu. That's simple. All content, one database. All users, one. I mean, I would scratch this. I wouldn't make changes to this. I would just do a new install of WordPress, do a new design. Um, and in our world, I would never start building a website without a client actually seeing a PSD file, at least, a PDF of it. So I would say something that would be really important would be design the PSD, do a design brief, come up with a PSD file. I'll just hang on, show you. I'm sure you do this. I'd asked him earlier, do you have a PSD file? What's the site going to look like? And it was like, he kind of was sitting back and saying, I don't know, I've never seen anything. And then all of a sudden he has a website, which in our world, like, it gave me a heart attack. So I would, something like this, where you guys work together and you do a design brief and you come up with what's this thing going to look like. And once he's approved the design, then start developing. But I wouldn't develop anything until there's been 100% approval on what is your homepage going to look like? What is your menu structure going to look like? What is your interior pages going to look like? Just kind of the normal design process that allows him to, let me see, who's somebody that's got so like this one.
So Jennifer, let me just jump in. I mean, while we're waiting for this to load, just so that we're clear, all of that occurred, and we got sign off on all of that. So we were just as surprised when we got to the end of development that he, he had literally seen everything and signed off on everything. So we know we are tracking with what you are saying in terms of the brief and showing all of the files before you go into development and all of those kinds of things. We were 100% down that road.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I think what we're trying to do is, obviously we've spent a lot of time, designing, actually from Tom's point of view, pages that he likes in terms of the look and feel with content that he has approved, and pages that he approved off on. I think where we, had a severe disconnect is, the way that and we had conversations about this, but obviously we were not tracking together. Mm-hmm. We were always calling it multiple sites. We always made those references, but we just had a disconnect. And I'm not blaming Tom. I'm not saying anything bad at all. I'm just saying we would love to be able to get to a place where we can correct this problem, but certainly salvage everything that we can salvage that we have spent time and designed, and I believe that he actually likes.
Gotcha.
So I think that the architecture we know is a problem.
Yeah.
We know we have to kind of do some work to fix that so that it functions in a way that meets his expectation. And I would say that that's where I perceive the largest disconnect for us is. And again, we're very willing to do what we need to do in order to make that happen. And of course, we would like to be able to salvage as much of the effort and as much of the signed off materials as we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is Colt. I want to jump in real quick just for some clarification so we can be brought up to speed. Again, we're just doing the legwork here, but there's a big part of this that we really don't know about. And can someone tell us what the issues are exactly with the current version of the website that the owner has issues with, just so we're up to speed?
And you're saying the owner, you're talking about Tom and the things he doesn't like related to this site. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Got you. So the biggest challenge is from a scalability standpoint, well, I mean, there's lots. There's no blog, which I don't know how that slipped through. It's WordPress. The blog elements need designed. It needs to be on one database. So if they're writing blog articles and you have a backlinking strategy taking place, that all of the backlinking is related to one URL, not multi URLs. As you're going through these different sites, you lose primary navigation. It's confusing. It's like, he has clients that subscribe to all services. He's got clients he's doing IT infrastructure for, plus he's doing their website, plus, he's got all these different services. He's doing their telephone systems. And once you get here, you're just kind of in this hole. And then getting back is odd. So we get it because we're web people. So we would think first thing would be you would click on the logo that just keeps you where you are. And then this kind of just an ROI company takes you back here, opens another navigation. You jump into security solutions. Again, you're in a new website. There's no primary navigation. Average person is going to think, how do I get back? They're going to click on a logo since there's no home page. They have to be creative and figure this out. We have now our third tab open. Moving to websites, same thing. It's just odd.
Okay, fair enough. I just wanted to hear that. I don't disagree with you at all.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just wanted to make sure. I wanted to be brought up to speed, so we're good to go. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
And the only thing that I would say is that you talked about there that we need to talk to Tom about is the blog, and that was never something that was in scope from the begining. So I think we do need to talk about that because it was not something that we had in our initial project. So we'll just have to work through that.
Yeah, like in ours, the things that if somebody's buying a WordPress website, WordPress, it comes with pages, it comes with posts, it has a blog installed, you have plugins, he should have social media sharing, he should have the ability for somebody to like him on his social media sites, to share an article, share a page, just kind of all the normal functionality that comes in 2016 should be, well, in our mind, they're like, I don't need a customer to tell me that I need to add social media sharing or a blog to a WordPress site. Like, I'm going to tell them, you need to have this because it's 2016. And if you want to market this website for something more than a brochure, unless you want to go out and buy 30 pairs of running shoes and go network your butt off to try and drive traffic back to a site, you're going to need this.
And I understand that, Jennifer, but if we have initial conversations with the client and they don't have the staff to support a blog, to develop the content, or to have, the social media channels, we tend to work with our clients to kind of evolve into those strategies. So I'm not saying those discussions never happened. What I'm saying is they were not, in the original agreed upon build to start with.
Okay. Yeah, we make them do it, and we add 3 blog articles that are junk articles in there, and then we're like, all right, we can hide it, or you can give us content for it, or you can have us write the content for it. Pick, but you need to do this. So I'm not saying that our way is right. I'm just really aggressive when it comes to trying to make them do what they should do. That's all.
I can appreciate that. So again, I just think that that's the one thing that we'll have to have, some separate conversations about.
Yeah.
That you said.
So that's, just one URL, one site for backlinking. He's got to get a blog installed. He's got to have normal things, all your social media connections. There's got to be an effort on conversions. There's just like everything, you kind of have this like contact. The phone number is this tiny, it's the most important thing. It's this tiny little item in the very bottom right-hand corner. He needs to have the mindset from a design standpoint that my job of owning a company and having a website is to connect, engage, convert. Connect, engage, convert. Connect, engage, convert. And that thought process needs to be behind this site. He has to think like that. Whether it's part of his DNA right now, it better become part of his DNA. Otherwise, you can slap a piece of paper on a computer and just walk it from desk to desk in an office building and get the same result.
Hey, Jennifer, can I interject? I do the training after the website goes live with clients, and also we need it easily editable widgets that the clients can be taught to use. That's all I want to say.
Oh, yeah. So that's fair. That's totally fair. So, and from Kathy's position, rightfully so. So just making sure, and I haven't dove into the back office, but making sure all of your coding elements that on the homepage of the website that you have the homepage body content with at least 300 to 600 words in the homepage body content container from an optimization standpoint. And then any additional containers, that those containers are done in widgets that are editable widgets, no hard coding, those kind of things. Multi-sidebar, so if you have one sidebar for security solutions, that's one sidebar, and they can easily make changes to that. They have a different sidebar for network solutions. They have a different sidebar for telephony and for web services. So I would say those would be important things to consider. Thank you, Kathy. Same thing if you guys are using a plugin, a Fusion slider plugin or a rotator slider, just making sure that that if you're going to use a theme or if you're going to code the site from scratch, that you have the ability to insert a slider on any one of those primary service pages, and you can choose from a library depending on what kind of sliders, if they want it to be a 3D or a rotator or whatever it is, and that they can make changes. Let's see. I think that's fine. And you guys use widgets and everything for your containers and testimonials and all the stuff, so they're easy, yeah?
Well, the widgets on that homepage were just, there's a post type in the back, and it just pulled in those from there.
Okay. Okay.
So it's not, but it could be.
Okay.
It didn't need in this case.
All right. And then contact forms, what do you guys,
This one has gravity forms.
Okay.
So it's pretty extensive, has lots of good features.
Oh, yeah. We use, and is he on a paid license or a free version?
On a paid license, but how complex do the forms need to be on this? How complex were they?
This is just a contact form.
Okay, well, if it's going to be just a contact form, we just may want to pull out gravity forms then, unless you guys feel that from a scalability standpoint, gravity forms needs to be used, because we have found that it adds on average of 20 megabytes per page to download, which is just off the charts for us.
Let me interject there. It's actually not 20 megabytes per download. It's 20 megabytes of memory usage on the server per page visit, not per download.
Which is a lot of,
it's a lot off the charts.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what's needed for expandability.
Well,
Just let us know what you want to use.
He has the scheduler system. He's already purchased. We're just waiting so we can.
Yeah, so I was
there.
going to say, you guys can, on the new redesign, you can scrap any contact forms, contact us. We will have a scheduling system just like on our website integrated into his site. So everything goes into a central database. He's got a CRM system and all his stuff's managed from one location. So that should make that process easier.
Okay, so I think just from a strategic standpoint, and we're a little bit between a rock and a hard place, because obviously we want to make Tom happy, and we want to give him the site that he needs. But at the same time, I want to be cognizant of the fact that we're also at the end of a project, that we have had approvals on a lot of this stuff all the way through.
Yes.
And so, I recognize that you have standard practices, and that there are things that you absolutely recommend that your clients do and don't do, and I completely appreciate that. But I also appreciate the fact that, we do have pages signed off on, we do have, designs signed off on, we do have elements of the design signed off on. So again, I want to really focus on the things that are important that we meet, and not necessarily the differences between the way you would have designed it and the way we designed it. So I think that that's, it's important that you guys be able to take this over and do what you need to do with it in the future, and that we design it and give it to you in that way. But I also want to be really cognizant of the fact that we're not taking this opportunity to add sort of 27 different things that are more about your thoughts on best practices versus the way that we designed it initially.
I have 1,000% experienced the exact same situation more than once with a project where they've approved everything, and not until after go live, all of a sudden they're getting feedback from other people and all of that. It is not the funnest part of our industry or business. I'm with you, and not sheltered from that at all. So I get it. And he's, I'll help him. Obviously we're going to send Tom a copy of this. That's one of the toughest pieces of this, is the complexities. You try and set up every standard so that they go through. There are touch points, there are standards, there are sign-offs, there are approvals, and then boom, you should be good to go by the time the thing launches. And for whatever reason, it's not. I have one right now.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah. And again, like, I want to take complete responsibility for getting him the site that he wants. I am not trying to shirk that in any way, fashion, or form, but I also don't want to be in a situation where we are completely reinventing the wheel, or in a place where we've got scope creep or any of those kinds of things, because again, I know that the ongoing relationship is with you guys. And I respect that, but I do want to make sure that, we deliver what we're expected to deliver, and we put you in a place where you can move forward effectively.
Yeah, that's cool. It's easy. It's just a standard install of WordPress. Are you guys going to start with a theme, or was this a theme, or did you guys hand code it?
Themes are generally bloated with a lot of options. They're made for, to be used in any number of cases. So this was all from scratch. Okay. We have modules and things that we use to make coding shorter, but no, we don't use themes.
Okay. Yeah, we used to be 100% hand coded, and then started introducing themes here and there for specific budget challenges. I'll say that.
And I honestly think that, if we had been in the situation where we were all working together from day one and having these conversations from day one, we probably all would have done things differently. But unfortunately, that isn't the case. And I know that you guys, just got some of your things set up, so you got, involved late in the process, and nothing against the process or anyone. But I do think we need to kind of work together to try to figure out what's the best, most appropriate solution to get him what he needs, and again, transition to you guys to where you can do whatever it is you need to do in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, is there specifically anything on the back end, the way that things are structured, developed, et cetera, that are going to be an issue?
Yeah.
Things to look for, like type of server, et cetera?
If it's just going to be a regular WordPress install, any server will be able to handle that, as long as it has MySQL. And
yeah, if this is coming out of multi-site and going to a single site,
it can go anywhere.
It should pretty much go anywhere.
It should be like easy. And we've got 5 servers, everything from an AWS server to cloud shared platforms. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about the technology standpoint if we support it. I mean, it should be easy, right? It's just a standard installation of WordPress. Use WordPress's menu creator. Use WordPress's functionality for widgets, for sidebars. Create your individual sidebars for each service solution. And I would say the only thing, if you can, just create the CSS so he can use posts. I mean, I hate having a WordPress where you can't use posts. He's gonna need, and these are conversations to have with him. He is absolutely gonna need an event calendar plugin, because he's hosting webinars. I don't know from a styling standpoint if you have any CSS requirements to be able to install events by Timely or something like that, so that he can easily have an event calendar. But he should, under all circumstances, make sure that there is a blog coded, that the CSS, if we were using a theme, it's plug and play. Other than that, it's styling. You guys doing CSS for tags, categories, archives, authors, post search results. That's, just one style applied to all of those applications or search result pages. He should do that.
Okay, so Crane, is there anything that you need to ask? I think that our next step is we need to take this information that Jennifer has given us. I mean, there is absolutely things in this list that Jennifer has given that were not a part of our original scope, and I understand that. So I think we need to take that offline and figure out how we deal with that. But is there anything while we have Jennifer's team that we need to ask that is going to allow us to kind of figure out the best approach to do this? And I will say that we have the desire to finish this out here and transition this over to Jennifer's team, but we still have the option of just transitioning to Jennifer's team. So we'll be evaluating all of that as a part of our conversation.
Okay, I think we're good to go. I'll offer my 2 cents on this, on Jennifer's suggestions of adding a blog and adding another navigation. I think those can be easily done with the existing design here. We got a blog to this thing in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a big deal. And the navigation above the slider, easily done. I don't know if I think this is a great design. I don't know if I'd go back to the drawing board and redo all of this, but because it's such a great design. But that's just my 2 cents on it. But no, we're good to go. It's no problem at all. We've got the easiest part of this whole project.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, well, and you guys forgive me because you are all probably 5,000 times more knowledgeable about this conversation than I am, and it is my job to sort of, again, try to get Tom what he needs, but also try to protect the project and do all of those angles, which I know Tom knows. So I just want it to work for everybody. So if I'm the most cautious person in the room, then, so be it. You can all talk me off the ledge.
That's awesome. This should be so much easier than what was done. This should be, and because you have all of these elements there, you've got the content. Shoot, the hardest part of all this is getting the content from somebody.
Yeah, one good fix to the navigation, and this thing's just about ready to go, quite honestly, in addition to adding the blog. Just got to get a good navigation fix to give people around the site, and you're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
One database. No subdomains, no multi-site, one database, good nav,
Right.
drop downs, standard menu, standard widgets, you're golden. This isn't, it's
Sure.
nice.
Okay. Well, so I came into this meeting wanting to throw up, and maybe y'all have given me some hope that we're not so bad off. So we'll talk.
Just have a glass of wine with Tom, you're golden.
Excellent. All right, Todd, do you need anything else?
No, I'm good. I think we've kind of some preliminary conversations about the kind of edits that we'll need. So
okay.
Good.
All right. Well, again, you guys, thanks for sort of, again, bearing with my cautious stance. And I appreciate all the information and everybody taking the time to get together as a team.
You guys
You
are
bet.
awesome. Thank you for the referral in the first place. And if you guys ever need help, want to partner or work closer together on anything, please let us know. We'd love to get to know more about you and your business, what you guys do, how we may be able to collaborate or work together. I think there's some good opportunities.
Yeah, I think that would be good, Jennifer. Let's chat.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks, you guys.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Okay.